Hello YouTube, I'm Tyler and welcome back to another Fishlomoto video. This is my 2001 Kawasaki Ninja ZX6R J2, and today I'll be showing you how to take the carbs off, strip them down, give them a good old check and clean, and while you're at it, changing the fuel filter. First job, let's get it into the garage and get it on some stands and get the tank and seat off. Now we've got the tank off, the airbox is in the way as the carbs are here underneath. So you want to take the airbox off and just remove that and put it out of the way. That there is the air filter. Now I've got to undo these two bolts and the bottom half of the airbox should come off. This is the fuel hose going to the carbs from the fuel pump. Disconnect that. While you're at it, check the condition of it. Make sure it's not got soft spots, no cracks, no splits. This pipe looks good. While you're taking off the fuel pipe, you also want to disconnect any other vacuum pipes leading to the carbs. This is your throttle position sensor. You also want to disconnect that from the carbs before taking the carbs off. You literally squeeze the end of the clip, give it a wiggle, and it comes off. Underneath the carbs, just under here, 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 and under here, there'll be 4 Jubilee clips that hold the carbs to the boots. You want to undo them, and then the carbs should just slide off. Last but not least, to get the carbs off, you want to undo the throttle cables. Undo them at the throttle end first so they go slack. Now literally turn and pull out. This one, got to turn the throttle body itself, make it easier. But once again, once you turned it, just line it up with the slot and it should pop out. And there you go. Now you've got the throttle cables off, carbs should just lift out. Ta-da! So the carbs are off the bike. Now on the bench, I've put a bit of extra rag down to soak up any petrol or anything what may leak out. I've given them a quick clean and spray down with some carb cleaner. Overall, just get all the road grime and any excess dirt off. I'm now going to flip them over so that I can see the bowls. In here you have 1, 2, 3 screws per bowl. I'm going to undo them and take the bowl off, and it will expose the inner workings of the carb. There you go, float bowls off. This is your float. These are your jets. That'll be your main, your pilot and your running. And under here you have your float needle. You want to start off by removing the pin what's in here by sliding it out, and then that way we can lift the float out the way. Give it a check over. Looks alright. Give it a little shake. If it feels like there's fluid inside, it means it's cracked or got a hole in and it's failing. First inspection, the carb don't look too bad. But let's get these jets out and give them a little spray of some cleaner and see how they are. You want to be gentle with the jets, as they are made from brass, so it's really easy to strip them or damage them. If you hold it up to the light and look through it, you should be able to see a pinhole through it and some light. If you don't, you know that jet's blocked. This one's okay, but we're still going to give it a spray out with some carb cleaner. I have this little pot of thinners and all the jets. I'm just going to leave in there for a few minutes to soak. While they're soaking, I'm going to get the others out. Now you've got all that out, give it a spray out with some carb cleaner. Now you've given everything a good spray out with the carb cleaner, including the jets, the floats, the internals. You want to put it all back together exactly how we took it apart, but in reverse. Before we put the float bowl on, you want to take out this old gasket, as we're going to replace that. New gasket, old gasket. Old one's a bit flat, feels very brittle. Top tip to help make the gasket stick, add a little bit of grease, rubber grease, to where it's going to go, and that way it stops it from falling out and helps it to stick into place. And just flip it over and put it back onto the carb, like so, making sure you don't pinch the gasket. Don't do all the screws up too tight to begin with, as you don't want to clamp it down unevenly. Get them all so they're about equal tightness, and then just give them a good old little one last go, but you don't want them super tight, as you want to be able to get them off again in the future. Reconnect any pipes you've taken off. And that is one carburetor out of 4 done. I'm not going to go into this side today, as a little while ago I cleaned these carbs, done all that. It was just to clean the jets out today. You repeat the same process for all 4 carbs. It's exactly the same. Last thing to do before putting the carburetors back on the bike is you want to make sure you give all of the choke slide a good clean and a good grease up so that it moves freely, like so. Before we put the carbs back on, we're going to change the fuel filter. This is our fresh new one, that's the old one. You can see it's going yellow in colour. It's mostly full up with crud as well. To do that, you undo this rubber strap by literally just lifting it off. Once you've done that, undo the clip and pull the filter off. Put the new one on, exactly how the old one came off. Slot that in, do the clip back up and then put it back in to here. Now let's get it back on the bike. And there you have it, the carbs are back on the Ninja. Now all we have to do is get it off the stands and the wheel chock, get it outside, hold the starter button for a few seconds as it will take a while of cranking over to refill the carbs before they're full of fuel, and then hopefully it should fire up. Once we've done that, take it for a little test spin. out for a ride. Bike runs lovely, runs a lot smoother than it did, and starts a lot easier. Still think there's other things to be done, but the carbs are done. If you found this video useful or helpful, please make sure to give it a like and also subscribe to the channel, as there'll be more content coming soon. Thanks for watching.